another edition of our Fun Fridays. So, as the title says, we do have a big announcement today. I'm going to let some people get on and we'll go over it. But a couple of things that I wanted to talk about is we do have the Aquashella show going on in Orlando this weekend. So, we are not going to be there as, a company with a booth. But if it works out well, I'm going to stop by Sunday and walk around the show. I know I have a lot of friends that are in town that are going to be at the show. So it's going to be a great time for me to go over there and see those guys. In fact, a lot of you guys know Josh Cunningham, who's a lot of times on the live feed from Michigan. He actually just left like 5 minutes ago. He's in town and he wanted to stop by and see the new place. So I was glad to see Josh. It's been a while probably since the COVID started, since I've seen Josh, because probably seen him the last time was at the OCA up in Cleveland. So it was great that he was able to come by, and I'm looking forward to going to the show. I don't know if it's going to be Saturday or Sunday. My son has opening weekend of baseball, so we're going to go to his game and support him with his baseball. And then if it works out, we're going to go after baseball. And if it doesn't happen Saturday, then Sunday we're going to go by Aquashella. So if you're going to be at the show, go ahead and comment in the comment section and let me know. And I'll probably post up on our Facebook group whenever I do find out what day I am going to the show. Like I said, right now I'm leaning towards Sunday. But we are going to be giving away we did up like 20 promo codes for $20 each. So as we're walking around the show, hey, I'm going to be giving those things away. So if you are at the show, keep an eye out. I'll be wearing my Imperial shirt. I got a mean mug, so I'm not hard to miss. So that's the Aquashella news. Maybe in the future, if we like what we see at the show and the organizers, that might be a show that we start doing as long as COVID is better, because I know they have Aquashella also in Chicago, I think, and Dallas. So if it works out, maybe we'll just make that one of our routines is attending the Aquashella show and bringing our fish to the show and allowing you guys that are attending to purchase the fish, and also, we could chat. So I'm trying to see. Guys, let me know. Oh, I see comments coming. I'm just making sure that everybody's loud and clear. The other big announcement is, when we planned building this facility, we wanted to, have something really special besides all the fish and all the tanks here. So a good friend of mine is a extraordinary tank builder. He builds like big tanks. So my, plans when I did all this is that once I get all these rows of fish built, racks built, fish in them, that I wanted to do some big display tank. So, and a lot of you guys that are on the group, Facebook group, or on Facebook have already seen it, because my friend Mario has already, posted pictures of these tanks. But these are like, each one of these are like a dream tank to me. So. These are 600-gallon acrylic tanks. Each one is going to be a unique group of fish. Like we're going to probably do a big Tanganyikan setup with frontosas. We're probably going to do a South American tank with like peacock bass, pike cichlids, compatible fish from Brazil. And then another tank we'll probably do as like a community South American tank. I want to see, like, I've always had a dream of like seeing 300 cardinals swimming around, schooling together. So yes, Harvey, the golden gar, I even thought about that, doing a golden gar, bringing him into the warehouse. If I did the golden gar, I'd probably do like a native fish setup for the Florida natives, maybe have some largemouth bass in there, some bluegill, speck, because, I don't want to even though the golden gar could probably go in there with my peacock bass, and I might do that too. I might just put him in there with a peacock bass because he's big enough now that nobody else will eat him. So the dimensions are 8 foot by 3 foot. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 8 by 3. So they're 8 foot long, 3 foot wide, and 3 foot tall. So I like, and Mario is just a spectacular tank builder. I mean, he's he's an artist. That's what I call him. But we've been really busy. I'll show you some of the flooring. So this is the tanks just got here the last 2 days. So we had 2 tanks delivered on Wednesday, and then Thursday we had the third one delivered. But we had to cut out the drains for the piping. So we're going to have the incoming and outgoing water. We're also going to have the electricity in the ground going to the tank. So the tanks will, 8 by 3 by 3. So the tanks will be completely like, non-tripping hazard. There won't be any piping exposed. Everything will be, concealed, under the concrete. Mario's on, nice. So, yeah, so Mario's like a mad scientist when it comes to building stuff. Like if it needs, 2 screws, Mario's going to put 6 screws, and his really is. So this is like it's like a dream for me. It really is. So it's exciting. We still have a lot to do though. We've got to do the plumbing, which I'm hoping to have done next week. And we're going to be showing you guys some, how we built it, and Mario's documented a lot of it, and we're going to hopefully have the plumbing and start filling these bad boys up maybe by the end of next week. It really depends on how everything gets scheduled. And so the tanks will be up and running long term, whenever we have the time and the finances. We're going to do flooring through the warehouse, through this section. We might do like acid stain. I thought about putting down some flooring, the snap board flooring, and then we're going to frame in the back wall with like tongue and groove, and it's going to be a showroom. And we're going to have some sitting areas, so when people come, they can sit in front of each tank and enjoy the beauty of nature. And we'll also have some smaller tanks, some 125s or 75s against the wall here, to where we could do like species profile, tanks, where we could show you guys, how we set up tanks and how, to breed them. That'll be nice. It's going to give us a lot of, areas to do, some nice videos, on how to do things. Because we have a tremendous amount of people getting into the fish hobby through this pandemic. And, that's where a lot of us get our, sanity, keep our sanity, is by keeping these fish, and the pleasure, the enjoyment, and the knowledge, that we learn about science and about nature. We're going to have a really nice, platform to do those kind of videos on. And we're super, super excited. And I know Mario, thank you again very, very much. I've been friends with Mario for many years. I want to say going on about 10 years ago when I first met Mario, and I went to his house, and Mario had a big, massive tank in his house when I went by, and he also had a 16-foot acrylic tank in his garage that he was working on. And I knew at that moment that Mario and I were going to be friends for a long time, because he was very, very passionate about his aquarium building, like we're passionate about our fish, So super excited. We're going to be, taking more pictures. I haven't even had time to put it on Facebook yet. Mario's already put it out there, which was great. I had several of my friends, like Ahmad, was asking, hey, can I share it to the group? And I'm like, well, I'm hoping I get up on our Facebook page posted about it and then share it to the group. But, I'm glad that people were able to already see what we've been working on. We kept it hush hush all the way up until the last couple of weeks. I think the anticipation would have drove me crazy, but like I said, they're really, really special tanks. And like you can see where the logo is, there's lights on the inside of that turn on. In fact, I think this one is set up to be turned on. And I would imagine with the lights off in the warehouse that we're going to be able to really see just how nice these fish are. So there's LED lights. That's I think it's a 140-gallon sump in there. I mean, Mario is just like I said, he's like a mad scientist. He really is. That's the tray for the floss material. So the tank is going to be very, very easy to clean and maintain. You can see Mario's emblem right there. Hell yeah, he's the tank king. So those other guys, they don't know half as much as Mario does. Not only about tank building, but about fish. Those other guys, they just know how to make jokes. But Mario's all business. So, but yeah, and that, like I said, that's a see-through, so you'll be able to see the sump in action. So pretty exciting stuff. So that was the big announcement today. I was so busy. I'm like, I don't even know if I'm gonna have time to do the live feed today. Like, this has been incredible. We got so many new fish species in. The Brazil order has been up, and we've already. Last night, somebody bought one of the Lalupies. Jared's over here making videos of them now because these guys one of them already sold last night of the Hyposamus luteus. One of the L25 sold last night. The yellowfin redhooks already have been going out the door. So a lot of the Brazilian fish are up. A lot more are going to be going up because they're all looking like really, really spectacular right now. We've had these guys for about 3 weeks, and we've put them through an extensive, process for quarantine. Like, all these fish came in with like parasites and worms, and which is common with wild caught fish. But because we don't just sell fish, that aren't healthy, we actually kept these guys, in quarantine for longer periods than normal because they're so expensive and rare. I mean, I feel terrible even shipping these guys out and ever having a loss, So super excited about the Brazil fish are coming, out, and they're already, starting to go into people's tanks. Please, if you do watch this video, do not buy these Brazilian fish, especially any of them, but the plecos in particular, and put them with African cichlids. I will be very, very disappointed to find any of these Brazilian fish in an African cichlid aquarium. All right, they're not meant to be in hard water. All right, they're not meant to be with African cichlids. So if you really like all these exotic plecos and cory cats, and then set you up a South American tank so you could fully enjoy the beauty of these fish. Because I see it a lot where, people are like, well, I need a tank cleaner. I'm going to buy one of your, L333s to clean my tank. And I tell them, well, a 333 Hyponcistrus is not an algae cleaner. They're a meat eater. So they're not going to do a very good job cleaning your tank. And then your African cichlids are going to try their best to kill them. All right. And then your hard water, which is what your African cichlids need, is not going to be helping the South American fish. In fact, it's going to be stressing them out. So we also got in a shipment from Colombia. So these are some wild caught red hump Geophagus Steindakeri, which has always been one of my favorite geos. You can see that male right there already getting a nice little red hump. A lot of these are not ready for sale, all right? But as soon as they come out of quarantine, they will be. Like here we got some blue phantom plecos. Here's another blue phantom. Good size on these guys. They're like 6 inches tall or 6 inches long. We've got some freshwater puffers. But like I said, most of these guys are still in quarantine. But as they get healthy, we're going to be adding those fish onto our website. Here we got some green phantoms right here. Those guys are looking really, really nice. What else do we have? Cardinal Tetras. We've been out of cardinals, so we're no longer out of Cardinal Tetras. In fact, we've got, well, we have about 2,000 of them. All right, so that's why I can't wait to get that big tank running, and I'm going to take like 300 of these Cardinal Tetras and put them in one of those 600-gallon tanks and just sit down and enjoy nature. We did get some Jaguar in. This is the Damon, and these are really big. Like, I didn't expect them to be that big. You're looking at probably close to 6 inches on these guys. We got some Chameleon Whiptails. Those guys are all hiding in the sand. Let's see if I can get him to come up for me. They don't like showing themselves. All right, so I lost my signal there for a second. So guys, let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Just a second, Hector, and I will answer that. This is all stuff that will be out of here pretty soon. All those tanks are for the breeding room, so that's going to be a project that we're going to be working on real soon. I did see a question come up. Hector's asking which fish go into a mixed peacock package. So basically, whatever fish you see on our website that is an Lalupies species, and you order a 10-pack of the male peacocks, you're going to get at least, one type of each fish that we breed. Now, there is some fish that do not go in the mixed packages. It's usually like fish that are, more timid, peacocks, but you could expect, red shoulder peacocks, lemon jakes. You could expect sunshine peacocks, yellow bangas. Here's the Mallory. So basically, you're going to get a selection of all the different colors, right? I've got bigger ones over here. We've got the OB. These are actually the Alis right here. You've got the Chalumbas right here. So all you have to do is go on our Facebook group, and you could look and say, hey guys, I'm looking at ordering a all-male, Lalupies peacock, or maybe you're going to get a Hap peacock package that's going to have Haps in it. And you will see our customers posting up pictures of all the fish that they received in the packages. We do not let people pick them out because it really depends on the amount of fish that we have of any particular type. So like if we only have 5 of a certain species, but we have 50 of all the other ones, then the one with 5 is probably not going to go into the pack. So it allows us to send you guys fish that are readily available at a much lower price. We do not put albinos in the all-male pack because the albino peacocks are not as hardy going in all-male tanks, and we don't want you guys to be losing any fish. And not that albinos can't be put with them, but in our experience that there's a good chance that the albinos will not make it, because I've just seen it too many times. But I do see people have success keeping albino peacocks in their all-male tanks. So I'm not going to say that it can't be done. It's just a little bit harder to keep albino peacocks in all-male tanks. In fact, all-male tanks, it's difficult to keep all your males collared up because of the aggression level. You'll have 1 or 2 dominant males, and depending on the tank size and the setup, they're going just to be bullying everybody in the tank. So that's another good reason to join our Facebook group, the Imperial Tropicals fish keepers, because you can learn ways to keep these fish all male tanks and have your fish all looking spectacular. Because I see a lot of our customers showing pictures of their all male tanks and all the fish just look spectacular. I'm like, wow. Even when I kept them in my personal tank, my 125 at my house, there would be a big, like, you know, difference on the dominant ones in the tank and the subdominant. Your subdominants would, you know, not be showing much color, and your dominants would be showing full color. And I think one thing that I didn't do in my personal tank is I didn't have the weekly water changes. You know, I would probably do like bi-weekly water changes. And I think really when you start keeping these fish, and you know, especially in heavier quantities, the more water changes you do, the better. I see a lot of people that do weekly water changes, and their fish all look really, really nice, you know. So there you go. That's the all male package. Hector's saying he has the 180 and has 7 fish so far, looking to add more little bit by little. So, you know, when you do add more to the tank, you know, you really need to have a quarantine tank for new arrivals, right? Because I, you know, literally see this happen almost on a daily basis, if not weekly, where people buy, you know, all male peacocks and they put them in their established tank after they receive them from shipping, and they're fish that are already in the tank that are established just beat up the new arrivals, which is common. I mean, these fish are they can be high aggression. They're very territorial. So, you know, that's why we strongly recommend quarantine tanks. For some people that might not be an option, you know, because of their living space or budget. And, you know, as far as budget goes, a quarantine tank could be a used tank off Craigslist, and you don't even set it up until the new arrivals are scheduled to come. Like, you order fish, okay, hey, I'm gonna set up my quarantine tank. I'm gonna grab this established filter, you know, sponge filter from my main tank. I'm going to take my tank water out of my main tank and fill up this 20-gallon tank here and put this established filter in that tank, and bam, you have your quarantine tank. So it's very simple to do, and it's not very expensive. You don't have to get, like, you know, crazy with, like, you know, canister filters or hang on the back filters. All you have to do is have a established sponge filter, which is like $10 off eBay, and, you know, let it continuously run in your main tank. It will benefit your main tank, and then whenever you do get a shipment in, take that sponge filter out, put it in your tank water in the 20-gallon tank, and bam, there you go. You got a nice quarantine tank set up. And this also could be used as a hospital tank and everything else. So kind of keep that in mind when you do add fish to your tank, Hector, is that your fish that are already in there are used to those water conditions. They're, you know, going to be ready to beat up anybody that arrives new. I typically recommend adding multiple fish at a time because that gives more chances for one fish not to get picked on. It kind of spreads out the aggression. And join our Facebook group. There's all this knowledge is in that group. So, you know, make sure you join it. And if you guys are already experts, I'm kind of an expert too, and I still learn stuff. So just because you've been keeping fish for 20 years, you know, it doesn't mean that you can't learn new techniques and new, you know, ways of doing things. But yeah, you got plenty of room. You 180. I mean, you're good for like 30 or 40 male peacocks in a 180. So, Hector, nah, I'm sponsored out right now. I'm looking for sponsors. Yeah, rearranging things help. Paul's saying same thing. At least add 3 fish at a time. Yeah. So Ahmad's on. What's up? He already had seen the tanks. I've been communicating with him about it all week. So it's exciting to finally show you guys. Yeah, Nunya says 20 years, 50 years. Well, even if you've been keeping them 50 years, I've actually met a lot of people that have kept fish for 50 years, and they, they still make a lot of mistakes. And a lot of times, the longer you've been keeping fish, the more stubborn you are in your ways of learning, so it's got to always keep an open mind and just, try to replicate nature. All right. Nice. Yeah, Nunya, I'm only 44 years old, so you got me beat. But I've also been doing it for a living most of that time, so. Yeah. Ali Shawn says she's been doing it for 20 years. That's awesome. And it makes a big difference. I mean, if you've been keeping it that long, you understand a lot of those things I talked about with aggression, and not mixing fish from different continents, All right, I'm gonna try to go through some of these questions. Do we have any white blades? I don't think we do, David. I think everything is growing up right now. We do have the breeder tank, and I know we've been pulling quite a bit of fry, but I think everything is like really, really small right now. But what a nice fish. To be honest with you, a couple of the guys here was like, hey, we need to stop breeding that fish. And I'm like, what? Look at it. It's like, they're like, it doesn't sell that good. I'm like, well, then we're not doing a good enough job showing people just how nice that fish is, because that is a spectacular fish. And, but the problem is that, we breed a new species and we take a, bad picture of it and put it on the website, and people don't really get to, know just how beautiful that fish is. So, when we have a beautiful fish and, it's not very popular, then we're going to do a better job, showing you guys just how beautiful they are and how best to keep them, So we are still breeding it, and we have quite a few babies growing up. It's starting to warm up a lot now in Florida. In fact, we're going to be in the 80s for the foreseeable future. So, that means the fish are going to start growing a lot faster, and we'll start having a lot of that stuff that's been out of stock back in stock. We've got these little dovi. We've got the rostratum fry right here. William's eye. So that's the William's eye blue lip fry growing up. All right, I'm gonna get to more of these questions. Leaf Black says my red dovi is doing great. Awesome. I like to see pictures of it. So that's actually one that we get from a local friend of mine that breeds them. So I've actually never personally seen that fish bigger than the size that we sell it. So, if you don't mind, if you're on our Facebook group, post up a picture of it and tag us in it, because I would really like to see what they look like. I've actually thought about keeping some back just to grow them up, even though I don't need to breed them, because I have somebody already breeding them. I'd like to see that fish as it gets bigger. So yeah, Hector's asking about the sanding of the ponds. We're going to get back to that, Hector. This building has taken all my energy and time, and I haven't had much time to do videos. I mean, like if you ask me, hey, you got any videos from your South American collection trip or West Papua collecting wild rainbows, I have all that video, but I just do not have time to edit videos. So that's why the live videos have always been like right up my alley, because I always, don't mind talking about fish, but I don't have time to edit videos. Jared has been just a huge help doing a lot of the editing and filming. So like all the videos you're seeing put out there now, my friend Jared that I went to high school with is putting those guys out. So and I'm hoping that now that we're getting close to being done with some of these big projects, that we'll be able to go out there and do some videos of seining up the fish and showing you that process too. Lucky Dog, what's up? Chevy Fish, Canesto. Yes, Canesto, the ponds are still covered, but we're actually pulling the plastic off a few ponds already, because we are pretty confident that the winter is over for Florida. We have a little bit of cold weather coming in on Monday, but when I say little cold, it's going to be like 70 for the high. So that's not, I can't complain about 70 for the high. But pretty much after that point, I think we're good enough to be taking some of the plastic off of the ponds and letting those guys, you know, and it's a lot easier when the plastic's off for us to bring in the fish. Like for us to bring these fish in from the pond with plastic, it's like a lot of work, physical work involved just to get those fish indoors. These are the gold mambas, Placidochromis. I think some of those just went up on the website. I think last week they put these guys up. I like all the Placidochromis family. Mauricio, enjoying another fun Friday. Good, my friend. I hope all is well in Mexico for you. And hopefully one day I'll come down there and see you. Tom Jones is asking about redhead Tapajos. Let me go over there and show those guys to him. I do not know if they're up on the website yet. I don't handle inventory, but I do know that we just brought some in, so they might still be under quarantine, but they're locally bred, so it shouldn't be long, and those guys will be up on the website. There you go. Well, you might go ahead and just go on the website and Google it and see if they're up, because these guys are looking nice right now. So usually when, even if we buy it from a local breeder, we will put those guys through a quarantine process. I mean, it doesn't matter if I get fish a mile down the road, I still quarantine them just because I don't want, you know, the fish to break down and get sick and affect any other fish. We got the Cuban Cichlids right here. And I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but that this cichlid, the Cuban cichlid, is the only cichlid found in Cuba. So that's one thing that makes that fish pretty special, is it's the only cichlid on the island that's in that family. So I could be wrong though. That was a long time ago when I researched that. So there might be others, and who knows? I mean, there might be some there that haven't been identified yet by science. Lots of nice severums. All right, I'm gonna set this up on a tank and go through these comments. The Geophagus Savannah. The water's yellow right now. This was a new batch that got brought in, and we ended up putting them with nitrofurazone because they had some tattered fins. But this is the ones, we still have some other ones that, you know, are already good to go for being sold. But this is going to be the next batch that's ready. We got the Dovi right here. I'll just leave it on the Dovi tank. The Ornatus. Yes. In fact, we're right here at them. So here's the Cyclosoma Ornatus. And this is a really rare Cyclosoma. A good friend of mine is now breeding them, and we're really excited to be offering these guys. So that is the Cyclosoma Ornatus. So really nice. I'd say they're like 2 to 3 inches, you know, 2.5. They're really nice. Electric blue Acaras. All right, so I'm gonna try to go through Jennifer Weaver. Yes, we do. We have several Apisto species. They're kind of scattered out, but as soon as I go through these comments, I'll try to go over and show you some of the Apistos. How big do Jaguar cichlids grow? Very big. When I say very big, the biggest one I've ever seen at my place was probably about, I'd say about 14 to 16 inches, which is big. So in an aquarium, they do grow slower, but you definitely need a big tank for Jaguars. And if you keep the Jaguars, and you know, you're going to get the best looking Jaguar when you have a pair. All right, so we don't sell pairs, and it might be hard for you to find a pair, but when you order some, I would order a group of 5, grow them up, and watch them breed, because that's when the Jaguar cichlid looks the best, is when they're in breeding coloration. And that's the way it is with most fish, but the Jaguars especially, in my opinion, look just, spectacular when they're in breeding coloration. Marshall Connor says he has a 2-inch star Sapphire. Why isn't he chipped? Because you got to have patience, lots and lots of patience. It's more of a age factor for the chipping. So I've seen ones that were 4 inches, and that's usually about the time they just start chipping. But one thing is that they have to mature, and if they grow at a fast rate, like in a big aquarium, then that fish might be 4 inches before they start chipping. I have seen some that were raised from a baby in a small aquarium, and at 3 inches they start chipping. But I've never seen a 2-inch start chipping. So you just got to be patient. It sounds like you need to join our Imperial Tropicals Fish group too on Facebook, because that's anytime you buy that fish, that should be pretty well known about the chipping. So make sure you're doing your research on them. All right, Ahmad, have a great weekend. Thank you. He was a breeder, David, but we still, that's out of the German line. So we hopefully, by summertime, we'll have some big ones back up. Mazzy Pops is asking about those redheads. You could check the website. They might already be up there. But if not, I would expect them to be going up later today, because they look really healthy. All right. Any large bristlenose, lucky dog. On the wild caught, I know some of those bushy nose are big. As far as the domesticated lines, I don't think there's any big ones. It's hard to come up with big ones on those because they grow so slow, that the tank raised ones like the albinos and the super reds, very, very seldom do we ever get big ones on those, because they grow so slow, and they sell usually by the time they're 1.5 inches to 2 inches. So right now it looks like there's at least one electric blue carp in there that's like 4 inches. The rest are 3 inches. But yeah, that's another one that typically we don't sell at 4 inches, because they sell out at 2 and 3 inches. But I do see one in the tank that's like 4 inches. So, you can always email us and request that 4-incher. But 4-inch is compatible to your tank, and a 3-inch also should be. And that's a pretty regularly stocked size is 3 inches. The 4-inchers, not too regular, Same thing, we got some big Geophagus balzani. You can see that big male back there in the back. All right. Hector, yes, maybe we're thinking about the first weekend in June, opening up on a Saturday. I have the Tampa Bay Aquarium Society that is wanting to come by and do a tour, and I said, as long as COVID is better, then we're going to allow people to come out. So just keep up with our Facebook page, our business page. We're going to make the announcement probably a month out from the event, but right now we're looking at the first Saturday in October, just allowing a local people or whoever is in town to come out at that time. But because of COVID, we're not allowing people to come out just quite yet. So it's still a problem. Luckily, this last wave of COVID wasn't too bad. But I mean, right now my grandparents are like 94 years old, my grandma and my grandfather, and they both just recently got COVID. Luckily, they are getting better, a little bit better each day, but it's been pretty rough for them. It was not an easy thing, and my grandma is still not out of the, you know, the bad stage of it yet. But we're hoping that every day she gets better. So, you know, as long as COVID is still a threat, but hopefully, like I said, by June, maybe things will be better. So, and just follow us on our Facebook page, and we'll make the announcement. But right now, we're looking at the first Saturday in June, and it'll be like an open house. You know, the Tampa Bay Aquarium Society will be here. We're going to be, you know, encouraging people to join the Aquarium Society because it's a great group of hobbyists there, and that will really expand your knowledge of keeping all these beautiful fish. There's the bleaker eye. And these guys just came in, last week? And I don't know if you guys remember the video. I think it was last week, but they were all like just kind of, you know, no colorations on them. And look, you already see, you know, some of them already turning jet black. And like I said, the blackness means that fish is not stressed, okay? And that they're happy. So anytime you know, get these fish and move them to a new tank, their colors are going to change. And then as they settle into their new tank, you're going to watch those colors get brighter and brighter. So, thank you, Chevy. Oh, nice. Robert said he got a Mel Balzani last week. Nice. Yes, Ali Sean, my good friend that I got him from, he's actually got pictures of the breeders. I could send them to you, but yeah, he's one of the best breeders of Centrals and South and Tanganyikans that I've ever known, and he's very good about making sure that his strains are clean, so, and pure. Tiger moray. No, we don't have any moray eels. I thought about keeping them, but I think I did a little research on them. I'm pretty sure they're more of a brackish water. I've seen them in full fresh, but I haven't kept those before. Yeah, this is a pure strain, I'm pretty sure, Elishan. But, you know, email us and I'll do some research on that, because like we just had that happen about a week ago. A customer asked for some Malawi Barracuda, and a local guy that breeds fish said he had some. So I ordered them and shipped them to the customer, and they ended up, you know, not being the right fish. That's why I typically like having, you know, good pictures and, you know, make sure that they're 100% correctly ID'd. So, oh damn, Usus Portugal, nice. What time is it in Portugal? Yes, he tried to send her over here to work for us. Nice. Yes. Well, if ever one day I'm in Portugal, I'd like to see some of the fish rooms over there. I've never been to Portugal. I've been to Amsterdam and Germany, and but I'd love to go to Portugal one day too and see the fish keepers. Or if you come to the U.S., once this COVID nightmare goes away, you definitely should come by and see us. Yes, asking for Borley eye. Oh, I thought you had asked about Red Empress last week. I think we do have some Borley eye, David. Let me see. Green Texas Cichlids. While I'm over here, I think they're on the next row over. I'll show you the Green Texas. And the Green Texas. Oh, here's one right here. And we got some more of them too. Green Texas. Anyways, that was just one of the bigger ones. We should have some smaller ones. Oh, there's a nice full color bleak eye right there. That looks like the only green Texas we have right now, but I know we breed those in-house, so they're probably just over in one of the grow houses. Redfin Borley Eye, David, let me see. We have so many tanks now, it's hard to keep up with them. I don't see none there. Let me walk through and look at this side. I know I just saw some. Oh, right here. There they are. So it looks like we got one male. I do not know if he is for sale. In fact, he's beating up his the other male in the tank. So I'm going to end up having to move the subdominant male out. But I know there's one up here, David. I don't know if he's for sale or not, though. So, but email us and they can check it out for you. Hector's asking if I'm satisfied. I am satisfied, but am I done? No. We're just getting done or started. Like, this is like, you know, our first big, you know, project was this facility. I want to build another building dedicated for breeding because we're out of space for breeding capacity. So it's making me very limited on my breeding. Like, I have to like really pick and choose the new fish that we're going to breed. We are constantly adding, you know, new space for breeding, but I really need a bigger building just for breeding. So no, we're not done. We got a lot more. Hold on real quick. Z Olive's asking about dove eyes. I had the camera on the dove eyes already, so you'll have to play it back because I'm about to have to wrap this up, and I'm on. But I did. If you play it back, I don't know what mark it was, but at one point I went by the dove eye tank and kept it on it. So as far as rare tangs, I mean, this is not a very common one, and these guys are really, really nice. This is the Heku Neolampologus, and that's not a very common one. I mean, we got some more Cyclosoma Ornatus. We got more there. These are actually under quarantine, but they are getting much better. We got the Cyclosomas tricolors. Those are all just coming in. They're in quarantine right now. Redfin Cadu, those are in quarantine right now, but we just got a shipment of tangs in. And as far as like really rare, I mean, you know, a lot of those fish I wouldn't say are common, but they would be common to somebody like you. We got our big male Alanacar restratum there. We did get some boops in, the silver streaks. What's cool is you can see the one up top there starting to color up. What else did we get? Well, we got these Du Boises F1s, the Limbies. That's going to be a new strain of Du Boise that we start breeding. We got some more. These are pretty common. The Mallory, the Cylindricus. Those are you know, beautiful fish, but I wouldn't say like really rare. Let's see what else we got. Bachardes, those are pretty common in the tangs. Multifasciatus, those are pretty common. I don't think we got any tangs over here. Oh, somebody was asking about Apistos earlier. This is the triple red cockatoids, right? Antoine is asking about red caps. I do know that from that last German order, we kept some red caps back for breeders. They're not in this building, but we are breeding some. So I'm hoping by this summer we're going to have some red caps. So the Lalupies, definitely not common, or definitely common. Oh, I got one that's rare. All right, I might have showed him already or showed them. We got some black Lalupies. Now these are not for sale yet, but this is a pretty rare one. You know, everybody is familiar with the standard Lalupies, And what's cool is, like, look at this guy right here. So he was beating up a lot of the other fish, so he got separated, but you can see that guy's jet black there. So so we are going to be keeping at least half this group back for breeding, but we are going to also be selling some, and we encourage, like, people to breed them. Like, hey, if you're going to get a rare fish, yeah, don't keep them just for you know, ornaments to look at. Let's breed them and get them out in the hobby. These are pretty rare too. This is the Obian. See if I pronounce that right. That also came in on that German order, and these also, we're going to keep these back for breeders also. And I only have a small group of these guys. Yeah, the fry I showed, but I also showed the big ones on the Dovai. So I'll go over there real quick and show you. These guys are all hiding in the rocks, and these are really rare. In fact, Josh Cunningham tried to talk me out of these guys because he said this has always been a dream fish, but the Proximilaris. This is actually a Malawi, and it's just a really, really rare one, and they're not going to come out for us. They're hiding in the rocks. I can barely see them back there. So that's it on the Tangs. We are going to be expanding on the Tangs. The problem, Ali Sean, with the Tangs is that there's not a lot of breeding in the hobby of the Tanganyikans. I mean, you do have, you know, a fair amount of private breeders that are breeding Tanganyikans, but on a commercial scale, you're not going to see many people, you know, like in my part of the business, breeding Tanganyikans because they're not easy to breed. So a lot of people choose not to breed them. There's your Dovai that y'all were asking about earlier. So that's, we got about a 6-inch male right there. That's looking really, really nice. Most of them are 5, but that guy's pretty big right there. So there's the Dovai. But we are going to be bringing in some Tanganyikans from the wild here pretty soon. So Wreckage Revels asking, praying you'll do wholesale soon so I can provide the best for my customer. I appreciate that a lot, and I do apologize that I cannot take on, you know, everybody as a wholesale account. Like the guys I do wholesale business with are customers that I've been working with for a long time. Z-Lox is saying that's about the size of my Dovai. How long for them to reach 12 inches? Well, that really depends on your growing space. So the bigger the growing, the faster the growing. So more water changes, good diet, you can have that fish at 12 inches in a year, you know. So Dan Coates asking about the Lacticara. Yes, I'm going to show you those guys because they are awesome. That came in on that Brazil order. And those guys, I am just blown away with how hardy they are. They're very, very hardy fish. And yes, about to say, I know they've been selling pretty good, but we still got quite a few of them left. But yeah, those are really, really nice. The Lepidifers, I can't wait to get that 600-gallon tank up and put a group of the Lepidifers in there. Those guys are awesome. They don't have a swim bladder. That's one thing that makes those fish really unique. We got some nice chinchillas. See that guy in the back. Lubrous. They get the bright red bellies and jet black. Really, really amazing fish. There's another one right here. You can see the red belly on that guy. These guys like to hide a lot. They really like going in their pipes and hiding. Really, really beautiful fish though. Amazing. All right, so let me go through these questions one last time. In fact, I'm probably just going to have to wrap it up because I can't keep up with it. But that's good. I like it. Jerry Collins, what's up from Iowa? Michael Lees, where are the spade tay checkerboard? Spade tail checkerboards. Let's see. They are right here. And it looks like they've been selling pretty fast because we have 4, 8, 12. We have 13 of them left. And these are really, really awesome dwarf cichlids. I like them a lot. So I've had them before in the past. They don't get too big. They don't get too aggressive. Just a really cute dwarf cichlid. All right. Wow, everybody's been pretty, you know, into the chat today. I like that, because if not, you just hear me blabber on. So I like questions. Michael Lee said, LOL, I just bought 5 of them. All right, that means we have 6 of them left, guys. So, all right. Wreckage Revel. Hey, just stick with it. If you got a retail store, we're going to be opening up our wholesale business at some point this year. So we definitely want to, you know, be able to, you know, have our fish provided, you know, at the retail level at the stores, you know. So no, I didn't say that, Canesto. Alright. Yeah, the Tangobies, I don't see them very often. I have, but that's a really rare one. Alright, Lucky Dog, have a good weekend. Shad, once those 2 hunters come out of quarantine, you know, definitely order one. That's one of my favorite plecos. Alright. Thank you, Lynn Chapman. She says your warehouse is a dream come true. It really is. I mean, it's like a, you know, I had a vision, you know, and a lot of you guys know our background, and it wasn't easy back in the day. We were strictly wholesale, and that's not a very very kind industry. It's not very good. That's very cutthroat, and a lot of people in the business are not very good fish keepers, and they're not very good supporters of the breeders. All right, so I know there was a lot of you know, questions I didn't get to. In fact, Chevy's asking for any Julii. I think we brought in some Julies on that last order from Colombia. So, you know, if you want, email us and they can check and let you know when those guys were going to be in. So, Alex is asking what water parameters are the Croesus in. So this is a pH of 7.8. So we actually have our water source for the South American fish right here. So this is going to be for the when we do our water change. So once a day, we'll pump 600 gallons of pre-made water up that has been buffered down with acid 6.8, and then we will pump this water once a day into our South American fish, and it works out really, really well. So if you could get 6.0, oh, there was something else to pump. Yeah, that's our water source, 6.8 on the pH. So we got the announcements for this, but I never did announce. We've got 6,000 people in our Facebook group. All right, Monday we're going to have a giveaway for the Facebook group. I think Jacob said we're going to be giving away like 600 $10 promo codes to the Facebook group. Okay, so if you're in the group, you're going to hear about it. If you're not in the group, you should join, and then you'll know what the promo code is on Monday. So on Monday, you can expect an announcement in the group. It's going to be a YouTube video dropping Monday night with the promo code details. So if you want to, you know, if you've been planning on ordering from us and you're like, hey, you know what, the being, you know, at overnight for 35 bucks is a little bit high, which it's not for overnight shipping. In fact, it cost us way more than the 35 that you guys pay for overnight shipping. On average, it costs us like 50 bucks to overnight a package. Then you can use that promo code towards the shipping cost and get overnight shipping for $25. So, and like I said, we're giving away like 600 of them on the group. There's 6,000 people in the group, so I would expect, you know, it to go pretty fast. And I think we'll have the promo codes where you can use them one time, but it'll be 600 of them that, you know, will be used. So I'll announce more of that on Monday. We'll post something up in the group. So if you're not in our Facebook group, Imperial Tropicals Fish Keepers, please do join. If you're going to be at Aquashella, look me up, you know, hit me up through our Facebook group. Say, hey, you know, when's Mike coming to the show? Because I do plan on bringing my family there. I don't know that it'll be Saturday. It'll probably be Sunday morning where we're going to be walking around the show. I'll probably be bringing a bunch of shirts and stuff like that to give away. So if you guys see me at the show, you know, say, hey, what's up? And I know I've got a limited amount. I think Jacob printed out like $20 promo codes for the Aquashella event. So we're going to be giving away 20 of those codes at the show. So if you guys attend the show, you see me, I know Mike Bernard will be there. If you see any of the Imperial crew, you know, say, hey man, I want a $20 promo code, because that'll go a long ways towards shipping right there. Then you get overnight shipping for 15 bucks, right? So, but I do appreciate the support. I hope you guys have fun at Aquashella this weekend if you are attending, and you know, stay tuned for our big tank project. So we got a lot of work to do before we start putting fish in those tanks, but we're getting closer now that Mario has these bad boys ready for us. So thank you very much. Have a good weekend and stay fishy, my friends. Thank you.